Good morning, everyone. Now we are starting with the topic nutritional classification of amino acids, RDA of proteins, quality of proteins, and PEM. So, first we will see what are the proteins and amino acids. Proteins are the building blocks of our body. Though they are sources of energy, they are not meant for energy purpose, but for energy purpose carbohydrates and fats are utilized mainly. So this is known as the protein sparing effect of carbohydrates. But during starvation, the amino acids which are broken down from the proteins can be used for energy purpose. Proteins, they are the only source of nitrogen in our body, and we will see that there are only 22 amino acids. Previously, there were only 20 amino acids. Out of these, 8 to 9 amino acids are called as essential amino acids, and remaining are semi and non-essential amino acids. Now, RDA, that is daily requirement of protein, is for adult is around 0.75 to 0.8 gram per kg per day. So first we will see what are amino acids. So proteins are the polymers of amino acids which are linked each other by the peptide bonds. Now these amino acids are the organic compounds that contain two groups. One is amino group NH2, another is COH, that is carboxyl group, and it has side chain which is called as R group. So major key elements of amino acids are carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen. So as I said, proteins are the only source of nitrogen in our body. About 500 amino acids are known in nature, though only 20 appear in the genetic code in human body, and they are classified in various ways. So this is the basic structure of amino acids. Here you can see central carbon atom is there, where to which CO2 carbon dioxide group and on one side NH2 amino group is attached, and there is a side chain, that is R. This is the chemical classification. Depending on the polarity, they are classified as non-polar, polar or aromatic, positively charged, negatively charged amino acids. So it is need for classification. It gives the grouping between these 20 amino acids and basic outline for the grouping, so that we get clear idea to pick the amino acid type. So this is useful for biochemist for the easy understanding between each amino acid. So there are various ways of classification depending on the R group, depending on the polarity, depending on distribution, depending on nutritional classification, and depending on the number of amino and carboxyl group. So for your course, what we are concerned with is the nutritional classification of amino acids. So in nutritional classification, based on the nutritional requirement, amino acids are classified as essential or non-essential amino acids. Now what do you mean by essential amino acids? They cannot be synthesized in the human body. So you have to take or provide them in the food. So which are essential amino acids? These are arginine, histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan and valine. So these are the all essential amino acids which cannot be synthesized in our body. They must be provided in the diet from the food, and they are essential. That does not mean that non-essential amino acids are not required. We require each and every amino acids. Human body needs 20 amino acids for formation of protein. But what do you mean by essential? They are not synthesized in the body, so it is essential to provide them in the diet, so they are called as essential. Non-essential means they can be synthesized in the human by different reactions, so they are essential, but there is no need to provide them in the diet. They can be synthesized inside the body during various metabolic pathways. So out of 20, these 8 are essential and remaining 12 amino acids are non-essential. These are alanine, asparagine, aspartic acid, cysteine, glutamic acid, glutamine, glycine, proline, serine and tyrosine. So these are the non-essential amino acids. Here you can see which are non-essential amino acids and which are essential amino acids. That means which has to be provided in the diet, whereas non-essential they can be synthesized in the body. So we have seen that there are various ways for classification, and we have seen the nutritional classification of amino acids depending which amino acids can be synthesized, which cannot be synthesized, and those amino acids which cannot be synthesized, they have to be provided in the diet. So as I have told you in the introduction, amino acids are the building blocks of proteins, and proteins are very important for they hold the first place in architecture of all living things. So you must know what are the functions of the proteins. These are the building blocks of our body. Each and every cell, tissue, organ, they need proteins for their functioning as well as a structural element. So we have seen what are amino acids. Now what are proteins? Proteins are the most abundant and functionally diverse molecules in the living system, and they are nothing but polymers of amino acids which are linked to each other by peptide bonds. Every life process depends on this class of molecules. So proteins are the macromolecules like carbohydrate and lipids, but they are building blocks, so they are spared for specialized functions. Primarily they are not utilized for this purpose of energy. So proteins, they form the fundamental basis of structure and function of the life. So these are the various functions of the proteins. Now you must be knowing most of the enzymes, they are protein in nature. Then hormones, polypeptide hormones, they are also protein in nature. So directly they regulate the metabolism in the body. Then there are structural proteins like in collagen, which forms framework for deposition of calcium. We have contractile proteins in the muscles. Then we have proteins in the bloodstream like hemoglobin, and most important are plasma proteins like albumin, globulin, fibrinogen, which perform various special functions in our body. So proteins, they are polymers of L-alpha amino acids. So they are made up of L-alpha amino acids, and which contains amino group and carboxylic group, and these are linked to each other by polypeptide chain. So there are about 300 amino acids, but we are concerned with only 20 amino acids which participate in the protein biosynthesis in human body. So these 20 amino acids, they are called as standard amino acids, and this already we have seen the structure of. So all 20 amino acids that are required for protein synthesis, so they have to be supplied in the diet like essential amino acids, and there are two semi-essential, that is arginine and histidine, which can be partially synthesized, and remaining are the non-essential amino acids. So this is how you can remember the essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. Now, what is the RDA of protein requirement? That is the recommended daily allowance as per the WHO, or in India we follow the ICMR guidelines. So, in adult, the protein intake should be 0.75 to 0.8 gram per kg per day. So, according to your body weight, you have to supplement the proteins in the adult. In this table, you can see the RDA it varies depending on the age, and obviously in infants and in the growing children, the RDA of protein is more. So, in the neonate, it is about 2.3 to 1.8 gram per kg, and as the age advances, it increases. So, that is the RDA. For the synthesis of protein in the body, all the essential amino acids should be supplied in adequate quantities at the same time. That is very important. At the same time, all essential amino acids should be provided in the diet. Cysteine and tyrosine can be synthesized when methionine and phenylalanine are available. So, requirement of the precursor amino acid is determined by the availability of the product. The remaining amino acids can be synthesized provided there is enough supply of proteins in total. So, only 3 amino acids are truly dispensable. These are alanine, aspartate and glutamate, because they can be synthesized in the body from pyruvate, oxaloacetate and alpha ketoglutarate. So, if there is excess protein in the diet, it will lead to the increased excretion of urea and other waste products. So, in the long run, these will cause the renal disease. So, proteins, they are not stored in the body, there is no storage form. So, they are get excreted, they are metabolized. What is the end product of protein metabolism is a urea. So, they are excreted as the urea from the kidney. So, this is the about the RDA of the proteins. Now, there are sometimes limiting amino acids in the diet. Certain proteins are deficient in one or more essential amino acids, and if this particular protein is fed to a young rat as the only source of protein, it fails to grow. This amino acid is called as the limiting amino acid, and it is the one that limits the weight gain when the protein is supplied to animal. So, how to solve this problem of limiting amino acids? It is overcome by taking mixture of the proteins in the diet. So, you have to supplement these amino acids mutually. There is mutual supplementation of proteins is achieved. For example, we take our standard diet dal and rice. So, in dal, that is in pulses, they are deficient in the methionine but rich in lysine. On the other hand, cereals are deficient in the lysine but they are rich in methionine. So, if you take combination of pulses and cereals like chapati and dal or rice and dal, so that will cancel each other's deficiency and becomes equivalent to the first class proteins. So, the supplementation effect of proteins may be seen in the weight gain in fed animals. So, after learning the RDA of proteins. Now we will see what are the sources of protein. So there are two types of sources, animal sources and plant sources. Ideally, animal sources are better sources of protein, like egg. It is a first class protein. It is also called as reference protein because egg and milk are the only proteins which contain all the essential amino acids. Then we have fish, meat from pork, beef, mutton, chicken and liver. All these are the animal sources. Whereas plant sources, in cereals like wheat, rice, maize, barley, legumes. Then pulses like red gram, Bengal gram, green gram, peas, soya bean. Then we have cashew nut, groundnut, roots and tubers. So all these are the sources of proteins. Now when we see that what are the sources of proteins, in that we must keep in the mind the quality of proteins. So how? Depending on the nutritional value, proteins are classified again as complete or incomplete, or these complete proteins are also called as first class proteins. So complete proteins are those which contain adequate amount of all the essential amino acids that should be incorporated into a diet. Some proteins contain all the amino acids which are required to build new proteins and which generally come from animal and fish products. Complete protein must not lack even a single essential amino acid in order to be considered as a complete protein. So sources following foods like fish. So basically animal or animal products proteins, they are complete proteins. They contain all essential amino acid. And egg is the best complete protein. Now what are incomplete proteins? This usually they lack one or more essential amino acids in correct proportion. So they are also called as partial proteins or second class proteins or incomplete proteins. So even if the proteins contain all the essential amino acids, they must be in equal proportion in order to be considered complete. Even if all essential amino acids are present but they are not in the equal proportion, then again it is considered as incomplete proteins. So examples are like grains, nuts, beans, seeds, peas, corn, etc. So to overcome this problem, like we have seen limiting amino acids, so what we do, we combine the incomplete proteins to create the complete proteins. So like we in Indian diet, we take the mixture of proteins like complete and incomplete proteins like cereals and dal. So already we have seen, so we combine food from two or more incomplete proteins and create a complete protein. So we compensate these deficiating or missing amino acids. So when eating in combination at the same meal, we provide our body with all essential amino acids it requires, and these are called complementary proteins when they are combined to compensate each other's deficient amino acids. So these are the some samples like grains with the legumes, nuts with the legumes, grains with dairy products, dairy with seeds, or legumes with the seeds. So these are the complementary proteins. So with this we have finished the nutritional classification of amino acids, RDA of the proteins, and the some part of quality of proteins like complete and incomplete proteins. In next section we will learn about the nutritional value and how to determine the quality of proteins, and then protein energy malnutrition. Thank you.